Hello, everyone, and welcome to our go live with these amazing women from around the globe coming together to empower each other in our businesses. And I'm excited today to speak about a very specific topic: procrastination and imposter syndrome. I think this is a topic that many people have heard of before, but we'll dive into it a little bit, not completely into it, because I think we would need many lessons if anyone is a huge procrastinator and how to get out of it. But we'll dive into the topic here. So let's be real, procrastination and imposter syndrome aren't just annoying habits, they're signals. And they're signals that your nervous system might be overwhelmed, or that your inner voice is questioning if you're really ready, or if you're worthy, or if you're capable. So today's conversation isn't about fixing you. It's about understanding the root of these patterns so you could move through them with clarity and power. So, we're going to explore why procrastination shows up, especially when you have big goals, what imposter syndrome is really trying to protect you from, and how to shift into aligned action even when you don't feel 100% confident. So, I want you to read this. This isn't about pushing harder, it's about unblocking the part of you that's ready. Sounds weird to say it that way, right? So, it's not about pushing harder, it's about unblocking the part of you that is ready. But you're going to say, oh, well, how come we procrastinate if we're ready? Well, we'll get into that. So, what's going to happen here? Let me get started. First of all, procrastination equals sometimes overwhelm, perfectionism, and fear of failure. Right? I think that many of us have heard of that. And imposter syndrome is fear of being seen or fear of success, and inner critic on loud. And yet we're on an online business and you're like, well, how's that going to work? I have to be seen in this business. So without further ado, we're going to introduce ourselves here tonight. And let me just here. So I want you to introduce yourself one by one. So my name is Melanie Kiss. I'm from Montreal, and I'll pass it on to whoever is ready to go. Just introduce yourself, but also I want you to ask yourself, if you may share, if you've ever delayed a task because you didn't feel ready. Who's first?
I can go first.
Oh,
We're doing it right now. We're delaying.
Hello, everyone. I am Crystal, and my background is I am a biomedical engineer, and I am a entrepreneur, digital business owner for almost 3 years now, and it's been an amazing journey. So it's great to be here, and thank you, Melanie, for having us here. You know, I feel that when I started the business, one thing that kind of held me back was, I was scared. I have been comfortable in my professional field for 30 years, and even to a new job, or something that is outside of my professional, it is difficult for me to learn how to adjust, and sometimes I feel that I can't learn. And so diving into this online business, that kind of helped me be more confident, because I'm working with global business partners like you guys around the globe, and I see what you guys are doing, how you guys have inspired me, and that pushes myself, and my comfort zone out of my fear. And so that has helped me improve how I can make a change outside of my professional field. And I think it's a great way that sometimes our inner self, it gets scared and it's not wanting us to make that change. But as we see people do it and it doesn't hurt them, or that it doesn't like bring them down, instead it brings success to them. And that's what helps pushing me, fighting my fear and to be better at what I need to do. So I just want to share a little bit of that. So thank you so much.
That's amazing, Crystal. So, yeah, definitely. When you've been in something for so long, right? Like you said, 30
Mhm.
years, sometimes that adjustment could take a while. Is there anything that when you first started your online business that you were like just not moving forward with it? Like, can you think of anything
Yeah.
specific?
Yeah, so I want to share with my audience who are watching us tonight that, when I started the business, I wasn't really pushing myself to run the business because I thought with a good job and, it was enough to get by just to pay the bills, and so I thought I could pick up that pace anytime and, be successful in the business. I've been in my professional field for such a long time that I said, I'm going to give me 5 years. And I took a really slow pace at it. But 5 months after, unknowingly, I was laid off. I had been training an intern for 2 years to become a biomedical engineer because she was an intern. And right after that, my manager called me into the office and told me that he was going to let me go because now this other person was going to this other person. The pay was a lot lower than me because I've been in the field for such a very long time that my salary was pretty high up there. And so he decided to let me go due to financial status. And after that, I came home. I was so hurt, and that's when I pushed my business to the limit. And that's how I became successful in this business. So that's something that I want to share. And
Wow.
it without that, I don't think I would, because I always thought that you've been in the field for such a long time. It's kind of like what you go in, you know what to do right away, and it was just really hard where I just really had to learn the business and push myself to the limit. And I had a lot of fear, but I had to do what I had to do because I needed a backup plan. And when you have a family and you want to be successful, yeah, it was really hard, but that happened to me. And now I learned that I always tell my business partners, don't wait until that last minute. Don't wait until something happens. When you start the business, get it going right away because I have been in it and I don't want anybody to be in it.
Wow, that is very hard. And thank you for sharing that because I know that there's less stability in a lot of jobs, but that's another story for another go live. So let's take note of that for our next go live because that's a very interesting topic that we should discuss more of. Thank you, Crystal, so much for
Yeah,
sharing. All
you're
right,
welcome.
who is next? Who wants to share their, just introduce yourself and let me know if you've delayed any tasks because you didn't feel ready.
All right, I guess I will go next.
Right.
All right,
Excellent.
so hello everybody. I'm Patty. I am one of the business owners here as well. I am a registered nurse by profession. I've been working as a registered nurse for the past 17 and a half years. It's only been the only jam that I know. And I thought that I had my whole life and career mapped out because this was something that I wanted ever since I was a small little girl interpreting for my mom as I tagged along with her to all of her doctor's appointments because she couldn't speak English. So as Krista mentioned, this is something that I have always just kind of felt safe in my comfort zone, and I never had any plans of diverting from outside of what I knew. And everybody knew me as all about nursing. And I think one task in finding this business, I think it was at my lowest point when I found this business, or just things that really had me thinking outside of my comfort zone was really truly losing the both of my parents. I lost both my parents within 2 months of one another. And then my kids stopped asking when I would be home because it was always just constant long hours. I'm a manager, so sometimes the hours are not always clear cut, from 9 to 5. They're sometimes earlier, sometimes they extend much later. It depends on what projects needs to be done. But yeah, I mean, that time I was just like, oh my goodness, I lost my parents. I couldn't, I can't take that time back. And here I am slaving away, right? Building someone else's dream. And I had no dreams of my own at that time. I think as a parent, you become just lost in trying to keep your kids surviving. And that you lose yourself. You lose your relationship with your husband. You lose yourself as to what your dreams are, what I was good at. You just stop pursuing yourself. And so I think at that time, I came across an ad like everybody else here did to really inspire me and to empower me that there's more, right? There's more, and I have to really take charge of the time that I have now because it's slipping by fast. And so I started my business, but yet I was still scared. I have been on Facebook, and that's usually my platform. I use Facebook, and I'm familiar with Facebook, but this was like going into a different aspect of it, so doing a business side of it. And so I was hesitant on even sharing with friends and family, although we don't have to chase friends and family, but I didn't want them to see this other side of me, because this was a side of me that I wanted to grow, and I didn't want them to see me growing because I was afraid of all the judgments that would be coming my way, because there's so many things out there. And that delayed me, I'd say, to be able to really open up my business and really push forward. Took me a good, I think, oh my gosh, I can't even think now, probably 8 months into my business before I felt comfortable, and I just said, you know what, forget it. Mel Robbins, thinking of let them, right? Let them think their way, let them, make their judgments on me, because, they're not in my shoes, they're not paying my bills. And so, I just let it go. I just let it go, and I let it just, open up my Facebook page and onto my personal page and my business page, both running at the same time. And then I started seeing results. I started seeing just the impact that, when I thought that people were going to really criticize me, it was more of, I think I got more support than that criticism. So I think learning point, I think I saw a sticker once, that a nursing sticker that said, did you die? As we kind of just joke around, with some of the things we do in nursing. But, I kind of reflect on that. Like, did I die from having that fear? No, I didn't. Or like stepping into that uncomfort zone. I did not. I'm still surviving, and I've been able to survive all this time. So I'm not going to let it break me. So.
Wow. Thank you, Patty. And you said key words, right? Comfort zone, feeling safe. Like these are all, valid feelings that people have when they're doing what they're doing for years. And then all of a
Right.
sudden, but there's this force that is within us that pushes us to go see something else. There's that sign, right? I think that's why we're all here. There was something there that said, no, go for it. Try it out, because you have nothing to lose, or you can lose, like Crystal, like losing her job, right? So
Mhm.
thank you so much, Patty, for sharing that. It's an amazing story. All right. Who is next and ready to share who you
I
are
can go
and what?
next.
Okay, great. Go, 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 Mayette.
Yay.
So I'm Mayette. I live in Colorado, USA, and I'm a physical therapist assistant and rehab manager. So for me, what's kind of like delaying me from doing things is, I think everybody uh, feels that way too, is the fear of being judged. And also, like, I see others, like I compare myself to others, and I see like, oh, how are they like doing so well, and I'm like just still here. It's like, it's kind of like that. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I just got to a point where, like, you know what, like, don't do that. Like, I have to tell myself, like, don't compare yourself, because each person has their own journey. So, and this is mine. I can do whatever I want with my journey, and keep pushing to get to my goal. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's like it's that fear of judgment from others, right? It's so interesting because I would probably say the people that love us want the best for us. Yet those are the people that we're most afraid of their judgment and what they're going to think of us. But then I'm like Patty. I'm like, they're not paying my bills. So,
That's so right. I know. It's
right?
like
They're
I'm
not.
doing something better for myself, you know?
Exactly, exactly. And it's a process. So you're not comparing yourself either, because it might take somebody like 2 months to get out of that comfort zone and trying something. Like it might take a few years, and that's okay too. I think what's important is that you are aware of your progress, and then you're moving forward, and then you're taking those steps to get there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayette, so much for
Yeah.
sharing. All right, we got Malu and Kia. Who's next?
All right, I'll go
All
next.
right, I can go.
Oh,
All
Yeah,
right.
whichever. I can go last. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
my name is Kia. I am why a month in a month of four, and I'm stay home month. I'm stay home month full time, 4.5, 2.5 year. Well, it'll be 3 year, but I'm so grateful that I found this opportunity. Changing life because I just like all you guys scary. Get out of my comfort zone. Just something that's really scaring me. Like I never imagine that I'm be a social media platform to share inspire all the women or empower women too because like I always had a dream about like a lot of people inspire me, a woman, and I just like one day maybe I will be that person can be inspired or empower woman, and out there, or it's just not women, I can be inspired and empower men too, in the way how I my attitude or my talk, my personal, and that was but I so scary, I'm so scary to jump into in the social media because I because I'm person I love to shop online, live, and I love to watch people, share their journey success, in YouTube, podcast, or live everywhere, on the this world global, right? But everyone inspiring me, but I just like, maybe one day I'll be that. But I just like Patty and Crystal, everyone's like, you so scary to get out the comfort zone, and when I jump into this business, take the lead of it, and even that Crystal is my mentor, and she told me like, yeah, you can do this. But I told her like, oh my goodness, I am the person, I love to talk to people, but not in social media, not show, and talk to people like, and like millions of people in this world can see me, and but really scary. And I just told myself I cannot do. But at the time, I had to, like Patty say too, because when I look at myself, like, maybe I can get out. Doing, I don't really care whatever people can say to me. They not me. They not me. They don't know how I feel. They can say any negative thought. They can say any word to me, but they not me. They don't know how I feel. I just feel the way how I want to be empower, people and inspire them, because we are people. I couldn't helping people just like me to stress out or juggle that thing that they have their mindset. Some people that have really stressed out. They need to talk to people to get that out, and that's why I in this business, and I'm so grateful that this it changed people life because I've been see, I'm not the only one, and I believe all we are here, we all had that inspired the empowered to have our own journey, our own unique way, that's how we in here, and that's how when I so scary to get out that my comfort zone, but I had to make and tell myself that I can do, and just get out. And really scary, but when I try, then I just felt that okay, there it's just like no more, and I just like I just love it. I just felt I loving to do to helping people can, maybe like 100 people don't watch me, but maybe one or two people in this world can watching me. I can be inspired, can be empowering them to, out there. So I just like it's okay, alone. They don't watch me 100 people, but maybe one or two I willing to hold them. So that's why this business have been changed me and stay home months. And like I say, I don't get any pay. I don't get any pay, but this business willing to get that opportunity for me,
Yes.
And I always joking around to my husband like, hey, I should get paid because I'm stay home mom. I working more than an hour and 10 hour, right? And even that nonstop. In some time, you don't even have time to eat, and only that I eat will be dinner time, right? And that's it. But I did not get paid. If I don't find something to for myself to people pay me, then
Yep.
like Perry say, no one to
Yep.
pay your bill.
No.
Yeah, I don't share my business to my family, anyone, until I had to tell myself that didn't matter who, whatever they thinking about me, they can say anything about me, but I share this blessing to all this world,
Yeah.
in the global, to people can see us.
Because you're sharing
To
something good, right? I know that
Yeah,
that's
we
what
share
I
something good. Yeah.
say. You're sharing something good. It's not like you're not. So if, like you said, if you could inspire at least one person, that's amazing. That's like
Yes.
that that building block, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say, Kia, that when you first started, that there's things that you delayed doing apart? Like, was there anything that you stopped like wouldn't take the step forward of doing because you maybe had some fears?
I do. I really scary thing to get out the social media, and I just don't focus anymore because I do not believe in the business at all. And I do not see the potential because I just don't feel more confident, in about the business. And even that, I just feel like, oh, I just cannot like live the life that I really kind of what I am. But I had to recognize to myself like, sometimes my spouse he the only provider, had bring all the bill, I mean bring all the supporting, but I had like, if I don't find something to work out, then I gonna be that person live the life just paycheck to paycheck, right? And I had to like scary out, but I had to look at to everyone to inspire me and just tell myself like, okay, I can do this and get out. And it's really hard in the first time, it's scary thing too, but I just scary. I just, oh my goodness, I cannot do. But when I see everyone so inspiring me every single day in this community, and I
Yeah.
just like, okay, and a woman like them, and
Hmm.
I can be, get out my comfort zone, or can can get out and don't be delayed because I keep stay what I am. Then I
Yeah.
gonna be that person who I am forever because I don't change. Then I gonna be that
Yeah.
I never change. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the scary part that
Yeah.
I always tell myself that I'm not good, or I not like perfect, or I not like confident out there. But when we try something new, it think it change. Thing change. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting because I think there's also a fine line between, I think people feel that they need to share their entire lives on social media too, right? And I think there is a fine line with sharing enough so people get to know you, but not divulging every little part of
Yeah,
you
that's
as
true.
well, right? And I think
Yep.
sometimes that scares people about the social media and sharing about themselves, and hence the judgment and so many other aspects, which brings us back down to
It's
imposter
really
syndrome and procrastination, right?
yep.
Thank you so much, Kia, for
Hmm.
sharing.
Yeah.
So, Malu,
Yay.
hi, how are
Hello,
you?
hello. I'm good. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and to those who are watching replay, hello. And yeah, it's nice to be here again. Listening to Kia, I wonder how she got 4 kids. I know I have 3 kids, and I'm like, how is she managing those 4 kids? Anyway, yeah. So my name is Malu, and I'm from Calgary. I've got 3 kids. I'm a full time worker. I'm an office manager, and of course, proud digital business owner. So for a long time, I delayed starting my online business. So if Patty took her 8 months, for me it took me like I think 4 years, because when I saw this ad, I'm so skeptical that I just don't want to do it. It's because I'm scared. um I think we're all scared of failing. We're always scared of the unknown, as they call it. Um and the bills are just piling up and up. They're not going down. Our salaries are staying the same. If you have an increase, probably after a year, or maybe probably after a few months, and it might just so little, right? But the expenses are just, going higher and higher. So one day I realized, maybe because I feel like I'm so stuck, right? And I knew that I don't want to work forever. So no one wants to work forever.
No.
And I feel like, this online business wanted, it will give me freedom, which we always want, for the kids, ability to be present, even if most of the time I'm working from home. I don't feel really that present, just because I'm always here in my dungeon in my own space here. And yeah, it's always not easy, but when I found this online business, it pushed me a bit. As they said, it pushes you out of your comfort zone, and it's really, really amazing journey that I have with all the ladies, everyone here in the community, and with all the powerful tools that we have here. So for those who are still, skeptic and waiting for the sign, well, this is your sign. So you just have to go for it, and yeah, took the leap of faith.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Malu. And I have a challenge for you. Maybe calling your dungeon and flipping that way of talking and saying maybe it's your sanctuary.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for sure. Yeah, it becomes my sanctuary.
Exactly. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, everyone, for sharing. And for those who are tuning in, we're going to dive more into a bit of a short lesson about procrastination and imposter syndrome. So let's talk about procrastination. Procrastination is often a form of the nervous system, right? Self protection. It's not that you don't want success, because I'm sure all of you do want success, right? It's that something inside of you fears what success might bring. Believe it or not, some people are afraid too of success, like what's going to change, right? So, one thing you've been avoiding in your business, and what stories are you telling yourself about why you are procrastinating? So, when you procrastinate, what feelings come up? Shame, anxiety, fear of judgment, right? These are all things that we spoke about. So, sometimes you just need to sit back and self reflect and really dig deep a little, sometimes deep, deep, deep inside into our past experiences. And it doesn't have to be something that's crazy traumatic, but sometimes it's maybe something that we heard in our childhood, a moment, a conversation, and that's stuck inside of you, and it formed you to who you are today. And then, of course, with social media, we are surrounded by people and constant, I don't want to use the word noise, but constant people talking to us, and hearing other people that might judge somebody else that they saw, and you hear that. So then you think, oh my goodness, is that what people are doing to me as well, right? That fear of judgment. So I would invite anyone who is listening in today is maybe take your journal and just write it down. So at least you could be more aware of it and pinpoint it and then work from there, right? Imposter syndrome, right? Imposter syndrome equals expansion. Yes, imposter syndrome shows up most when we're growing. It means you're expanding past the version of who you once felt safe playing small. So that inner critic is just scared of your power. And you all have that power of that success. And sometimes that feels scary, right? Because things are starting to shift. So I want to know, have you ever succeeded at something and still felt like you didn't deserve it? Show of hands. Huh?
I want to share a little bit about that.
Yes.
I want to share about judgment because I am not a social media. And before this business, I was never like on live. I was never putting myself out there, even like looking at a picture of me, maybe back then when I was younger, but like just coming into this online business and to put my face out there, I just always feel uncomfortable because I just feel like a person like me to be out there, like who would be attracted to me? Like what could I bring out there for people to like me? Because I'm not pretty, I'm not a social media marketer, but I had to learn that sooner or later I will have to put myself out there and try something different, because when I started the business, I thought I was an old dog who couldn't learn new trick anymore, because I was so set in that comfort level. And so I was really afraid of being judged. And when I found out that it really doesn't matter, I don't need to be perfect. I just need to share things about myself, and what this business has to really offer, because I can improve and get better. Nobody starts anything right from the get-go and just be perfect, and it allows time, it for perfection. And that's when that thought of mine came into place, and that was when I was able to let go of the fear that was holding me back, that I didn't need to be perfect in order for someone to get attracted to me, or to come into my ad, or what to say. And so that was one of the things that held me back, but when I got let go from my job, that's when it was another thing that helped kick me. And that's when I said to myself that I really have to do this now, and that's when I really have to do whatever it needs, it needs to for me to take that you know step forward in order to be successful. And so I feel that we all must have that same kind of feeling, and that's why everybody's journey is different from another, is because it takes time for us to get adapted to it and get comfortable to it. And if we learn enough about the business to talk about the business, then it also helps us come out, and that also helps others to say, well, when I see her from the beginning, she wasn't comfortable, but now because she's the person she is, and we see it, that it's real, that it's natural. And that's how people get so drawn to us. So that's the feeling that when I first started that I felt, and it held me back a little bit until I had to learn myself and to really believe in myself. And I think it really is the mindset really helped me, because I like, especially like reading books and seeing you guys and things like that, it also helped me to push myself.
Melanie, I think you mute.
Thank you. I I think it's not just the mindset, but the action that you took as well, that was combined, that got you out of your shell, right? And then every day you got more and more confident in what you were doing, and you were able to get out there. And I think this
Mhm.
is something else that we do. We watch other people, and then we judge ourselves for not being like that. But we have to remember that we're all our own unique person, right? To be able
Yes.
to be out there and to do what we have to do. But again, congratulations, Crystal, for, first of all, for sharing that with us, and also for being aware and taking the necessary steps to where you are today. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I know, like I'm just so grateful, so blessed, and so thankful that with global business partners from around the world like you guys, I can really say that you guys all have shaped me in a shape, a form, to be who I am, because everyone it takes the courage to work together, and to get rid of that fear and to be successful. So if you keep trying and if you keep coming on like how we are doing it today, you will be more comfortable. You will be able to live yourself, and you will see that others did it and they made a difference in their life, and they're just ordinary people just like you. And that will help you take the next step and be successful in whatever you do. So even for those who are watching, or for our business partners here, like, we're here together, we're on this journey together, and that's why we have such a big global community, is because you don't have to work alone. You can just work with your accountable business partners, like how all of us are working together, and we're successful together because one way or another we're helping each other push each other to the next level. And so that's the challenge that we all have to take. So I'm just super blessed to have each and every one of you, and with the different background that we with the different walks of life that we all come from, we're able to come into this business because we have that same uh that one thing that we all like, right? And that's why we're all here. So I just want to put some courage out there that keep doing what you're doing, because we're all gonna be successful if we work together, and if we keep coming on. That's the only way that we're gonna set our fear aside and be stronger.
Yeah, yeah, good point. And it's I find it amazing the diverse group of this community, right? Because it's a global community, and it's just so beautiful to see people not working against each other, but actually
Mhm.
helping each other out. And you don't always find that everywhere, right? And that's what I really love about this community. Would you guys think the same thing? Yeah, I think
I
so.
love seeing the growth in everybody though.
Yes.
When you've seen someone coming in for the first time and then now you see them just like soaring, like Kia. We kind of started roughly about the same time and she was very quiet. She really didn't have much to say, but now like you let her take the stage and she's just going for it.
Amazing, amazing. So
Yeah.
exactly. So, you know, if we go back to that imposter syndrome, what would you say to a friend who felt unqualified? What if you said that to yourself, right? What is it that you would say to that person? And then if you had to turn around and say it to yourself. And sometimes we need to tell ourselves probably more than what we need to tell other people sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So shifting into aligned action, and Crystal, you talked about that. It's not just about mindset, but it's actually also taking action. So here are a few tips. So to anchor safety first, right? I think that comes up. People are scared, they're not sure, it feels unsafe, it's different. So to regulate your nervous system before taking action, try breath work, grounding, meditation, movement. I know some people might think, oh, okay, okay, but I swear by it myself. These are things that sometimes when I know I'm feeling overwhelmed or there's so much going on, I just need to just ground myself again or go for a walk or go exercise or, what do you guys do? Do you guys have any rituals that you do on a regular basis to refocus yourselves?
Yeah, I think the magic book, it really helped me boost my business to the next level as well, because I was always like, when right before I had the success, I was reading the book, and that really helped me because every morning I had to pray. I pray for the right people to come into my business. I pray for positive behavior. I pray for positive things to come to me, and if I am positive, then things will come positive. And I just keep thinking to myself that if I become a leader or an eagle to my business, that can really, that way I can attract people who wants to come into the business and become their own ego as well. So I had to learn that in my business, to pray. And I think when I started doing that, that's when results were flowing into my business like nonstop that first year. And I was just super amazing because I was like, wow, I can't even believe that social media can really do this. Because here I'm thinking that I'm not attractive, but people are coming into my life, and I am just it's something that I had never thought would happen. So
Yeah,
I want to share that.
because it's skin deep, right? That energy is at its cellular level, and it comes out, and it's that energy flows out and people feel it, and then it's attractive, right? So those grounding moments that you could do on a regular basis is absolutely amazing if you could do that. And other things that you could do, right? So celebrate micro wins, right? It's those momentum. So um, the beauty of this business, once it's set up, it's automated and all that stuff, but it's also a business. We're not going to kid ourselves. You're not just going to like sit back and hope that magic happens. Magic does happen, but with some actions to be taken. So, but it doesn't have to be 8 hours a day. No, the whole point is to reduce that amount of time. So setting a timer for 10 minutes and creating those little micro moments, and then it builds momentum, and then it compounds, and success. I would say success happens when you start doing that, right? Yeah. And then to rewire the story. So you replace your I don't know enough to I'm learning as I go, and that's enough, right? Or from dungeon to sanctuary, or right? All right. So I'm going to open the floor to anyone who would like to share. But what's one small step you're committed to today, even if it's messy and scary? Anyone? Anyone? Sometimes things are still could be a little scary. If you guys are completely fearless, wow.
Well, me,
Yeah, I
it's
feel
hard
that, like,
sometimes.
I don't wanna be the oh, go ahead, Kia.
Oh, okay. Well, me, it's hard sometimes, but I keep prayer and I keep telling myself that it's gonna happen. I keep learning. I keep show out to my business. Keep and plus and be inspired. Keep doing it. It's sometimes like I don't have much success, but I believe in myself. Like I can do this. It's everything's hard. Life is hard. Success is hard. Everything's hard to beginning, but if you believe yourself, then it starts coming. Blessing magic, it starts happening. And I always use this word. Everything's happening for a reason. When you start believing yourself, and you start to believe that that's something that is coming. It's coming on time. It's not a perfect time, but it's hard. But like sometimes, like I cannot like finish my scratch ad on my video. I had to record, right? And I just like struggle so much, like I don't know what I gonna do. And just really hard. But I keep pushing myself, like um one time I had to stay up late, recording myself because my kids was, at the background. So, that's really hard for me, like sometimes, then, but I keep doing, I record like 13 times, 20 times. You only get one, that's how it. But, I keep doing because, I know like it's right there's waiting for me. And I keep doing. If I not doing, I can just like tell myself like I just don't do that, won't gonna go anywhere. And it's really hard. But I always say when you put the effort, you start doing, you start show up, you start practice. Even we messed up, we feel thing, keep get out and do. Because I not perfect, we are not perfect, but we keep pushing, we keep doing that, move forward. Then we learn. I mean, just like you go to school, like I always say this, because little baby, right? When you have baby, we all in here as mom, we have kids, and being baby, then newborn one day. or 1 hour old, they coming home, they just only know trying to eat, right? And you feed them, they sleep all the time. And just online, like when you start something journey, new online business or anything that you start a new, a create a better, a new journey that you beginning with success, right? And you just imagine that. But some people, it's they think the different way, but for me it's hard. But I know that if I keep pushing myself, I keep doing, no matter what's how it's hard in front, I always say we never know our future in the, and in front we never know what we're gonna be living tomorrow. We only know today, and I always say this too, like I never promised to my loved one, or I never promised to anyone, like can happen 1 second, like can happen 1 minute, maybe I can still talk to you guys can hear something, bad news about me, like, oh, I just talked to kid and lie, and just something happening, you never know. But I know success hard, but you had to push it. And I know because I watching so many success people, they always say the journey is really tough, really hard, but they can make through. Then I believe myself, like, I can do too, and why not,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. And everyone will feel differently, right? To some people it's a little
Hmm.
easier, to some people it's a little harder. Some people have other
Yes.
different types of roadblocks. Uh, some people have children on them and they're trying to do their business, and others have like older children, or maybe they don't have any
Yeah.
children, right? But everyone has their own kind of journey that they have to go through. Um and it's what you make of it, and it's what you decide to do uh, with what you've got at that moment, right? We're not always
Hmm.
at the same place, but I think it's important to keep that open mind, right? That's why I
Yes.
say if you could take that moment to settle and just sometimes go for that walk or meditate or whatever it is that you like to do, to look at those signs that are out there for you, right? Because
Hmm.
there are a lot of words that we're hearing today and we've heard them a million times, but sometimes they're not happening at the moment that needs to be heard. And that day
Yes.
that you hear it, that's when shifts start to happen, right? So I'm not going to take too much more of everyone's time, but just in closing, so the truth is your power doesn't come from being fearless. It comes from moving forward with the
Yes.
fear, with the self doubt, and the messy thoughts, and choosing to show up anyway. So you're not behind, you're evolving. And that woman inside of you, the one who knows she's meant for more, she's watching to see if you'll lead her today. And you guys are all here leading, and you're amazing. And I thank you so much for showing up this evening. Before we leave, everyone, is there any last thoughts or something that's popped up and that you would like to share?
Yeah, one thing I would like to share is that for someone who is really ready to dive in and do something or make a change in their life, I recommend that, feel free to take that leap of faith. Everyone is scared trying something new. But with this online business, we have all the tools that you need to start this business. We have a training based system that teaches you how to set up your business and how to run your business, which, I have operated many other businesses where I had to go out and find my own resource to, run my business. And with this online business, it's so amazing because you have global business supports that is willing to help and work with you. And you can also find an accountable business partner who is willing to work with you and help you navigate that path, just like each and every one of us coming here together tonight. And this online business may be something that, because it's in the online space, people are scared that, how do I make a earning? But in this business, you definitely can, earn your financial success, because I have been part of the story. Many of you guys here have also been a part of that story. And, it's once you start, you will have, people who surround you, who will never let go of you, who will always push you to be that person who you really want to be. Because starting this business, I have found myself. I found, who I really am. And this business is truly remarkable. It has shown me that, I actually love this more than my professional job now. And I can't wait to leave my job, because, the earning in this business is truly amazing. And I would recommend anyone to check it out, because, we also, once you sign up, we also have step by step, and you can sign up with your name and email, get one of our 90-minute or 20-minute video that shows you what our business has to offer. And when you pay the 149, you can actually get 10 videos to find out what the business module is all about, how the compensation plan pays, and how you can position your business so that you can be successful and work with business partners around the globe. So before we end this live, I wanted to share that to each and everyone who is watching us right now or during the replay, because I really recommend that, if you are looking for something and you are seeing us, this is it for you. Something is coming to you, and you will be truly blessed. So feel free to check it out and let each of us know if you are interested, and we're more than happy to share, or answer any questions that you may have. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Crystal. And yes, it's pretty amazing, right? It's not just about the earnings, but the amazing community, right? There's a lot more to it. And like for yourself, and I think like many people, it's brought out the best in a lot of us. Yeah. Anybody
It's
else?
really allowed us to actually see that we do have potential, right? We kind of put ourselves in this little, we minimize our potential a lot. And it just allows us to really spread our wings and to uncover that, we are not as incapable as we think we are.
Yeah.
So I think it does a lot of empowerment to each and every individual who has come into this business, because unlike a job that you might need to go and interview, there isn't any criteria. Well, there are
Mhm.
criteria that you just have to really be open and coachable, right? And follow directions, because everything, we give you, all the resources that we give you,
Yeah.
and really just be open to, because I think we've been, as a I think we've just been ingrained in knowing that the only way to success is truly getting a job, working for someone else, minimizing, and that is it. It minimizes your self worth. Someone tells you how much you're worth, but I spent 17 and a half years being a nurse. I do a lot of amazing things. We save lives, but at the expense of really making my family second and building someone else's dream as my priority, because as even though I come home exhausted, I barely have any energy. I
Yeah.
think we want to spend as much time as we can with our loved ones,
Yeah.
because we just are not guaranteed. So
Yeah. Yeah.
if you
Love
want a
that.
challenge, then this is a challenge for you today, is really diving in, learning something new that's going to really change many generations to come, and not just your own right now.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for bringing that up, Patty. Thank you. Well, thank you everyone for being here. And I don't know, sometimes I know a lot of people like to take some photos of our screen about our meeting. This is the time to do it. And ready. I just want to make sure I don't turn anything off. All right, ready, set, cheers.
Cheese.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in.
Thank you,
And
ladies.
we will see you guys on the next Go
All right. Thank you.
Live.
Bye.
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 Mm.